All right. Welcome to episode 1 of RePete. I'm Pete. Let's talk about things other than money. Joining me in studio, of course, as always, is Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Pete.
Or Frank.
Whatever.
Or Fran.
Yeah.
Not Nikki.
No.
So people
Nikki's
are
not my jam.
probably wondering what RePete is, and we should probably explain it to them.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain it? Who do you want me to explain it?
I'll do it.
You try it.
So,
And by try, I mean do.
RePete is, I guess, as our lovely logo behind us suggests, a more unfiltered version of.
An unfiltered extension of the Pete the Planner show. Does that mean I can curse?
Maybe.
I don't know if I
I
want
don't
to,
know.
though. My grandma's alive.
I know, right?
do that.
Our moms listen.
Yeah, my
Right.
mom will probably listen. It's unfiltered.
Yeah, it's an unfiltered us to revisit either topics that we talked about in radio the week before that we feel like we didn't get enough time to fully explore.
Sure.
And also just whatever we want to talk about. If there's certain things going on in the world that we feel it necessary for us to share our opinion with the world. And then also we are creating and debuting an online community for our lovely followers. It'll be a Facebook group.
Okay.
Private Facebook group.
Oh.
I know, a little exclusivity. Oh.
Is someone going to say, like, DM me and put send pics?
I hope not.
Guys are gross.
No one wants the Richard pic.
Does any girls don't send pics texts?
Send pics pic.
I mean, like, if they have a pics, like if they have a picture that says send pics, they don't send that pic.
No, we don't send that pic.
We had a coworker years ago was on the dating scene on the Tinder or
the Tinder.
whatever these things are, and turns out guys text the word send pics quite a bit. If I text my wife right now send pics, she'll send a picture of the kids drawing something. Like, that's the difference between single guys and married guys. Like, I'll get pics of my kids.
Like things to aspire to?
I don't know.
Right? Yeah.
It depends.
Anyways, Facebook group.
Yeah.
But this will be an online private community for people who follow the radio show, the podcast, now this repeat. For them to engage with us, for them to be able to pose questions, whether it's financial or things that we've talked about on the show. And I will monitor it just to give it a little bit of an admin. But this will kind of be a place for the people who have been following us or hanging out with us for just a little bit to be able to run wild with each other.
Yeah, I think what we've learned here is we help people care about their financial lives. We used to say we used to help people change their financial life, which is true, but we've actually redirected our mission to trying to get people to care about their financial life, which is really different than changing their financial life.
Yeah, because changing your financial life is one thing, but caring about it is a completely different flip of a switch.
And at first glance, it's like, oh, you want people to care about it. That's dumb. It's like, well, no. Having done this for almost 20 years now, I can tell you the issue is people don't care.
Yeah.
Whether it's about fitness or health or whatever else. So our radio show has evolved into, it's 4 segments, as those that listen know. And we just answer a question a segment.
Yeah.
Which took away some of our free-form discussions that are more fun.
Yeah.
So there'll be a common financial thread that runs through the show. We'll have a question we will explore every week on here.
Right.
But it's just a conversation that we found that we could no longer have on the radio, and we wanted an outlet for it.
Yeah, and this was born.
You can also watch at PeteThePlanner.tv. And when will people find out about this private Facebook group? When does this thing launch?
So we're recording this on Tuesday, June 19th, and this will go live on Thursday, June 21st. And we'll include everything to go along in that blog post. So we'll tweet about it.
Can we tell them the name of the group?
Oh, yes. It's RePete, the Repeaters.
The Repeaters. If you follow our stuff now, you can call yourself a repeater. That's what we want.
Yeah, we want to get T-shirts.
There's this old joke that, like, Pete and RePete are sitting on the dock. Pete falls off. Who's left? RePete. Pete and RePete are sitting on a dock. Pete falls off. So my grandpa used to tell me that joke all the time, and it never was funny. Frank, this week on RePete, what do we call this? This week on RePete. Oh, how have you been feeling about Pete's Eats?
I love it. I can't get enough of it. Oh, I made what we made for episode 2 last night for dinner.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, delicious.
And the boy?
The boy loved it.
Well, the boy just remained the boy or the special friend on the show. We're not going to give him a name.
No, we did once, but I felt like I was being a little too flashy.
My children and my family have known your friend as long as they've been alive, my friend, my fake kids, and then the rest of my family have known him for a long time. They no longer call him his name. They call him Nicole's boyfriend, which is horrific for him.
I know.
Right?
We already joke about if I'm going to take his last name one day.
I will say, though, in a hint of seriousness, I enjoy just being Sarah's husband sometimes. Like, I don't, like, when she runs, like, major races, like New York or Boston or whatever, I love just being her husband in that moment. I have no other identity, and it's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, just being your special person's person is great.
That's a good time.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh, this week, we are going to talk about work-life balance. It's one of those annoying things that you hear about a lot, and you used to not hear about it because it wasn't important, or people could do it without help.
Yeah.
So we're going to explore work-life balance. And again, there's sort of a common financial thread. So I'll put it out there. Work-life balance. What do you do to maintain? Do you have rules? Whoa.
Yeah, I've established some rules for myself just because I let work just creep into my evening a little bit more than I should.
Mentally, or you're doing stuff?
Mentally.
Okay.
Mentally, I do. And so to combat that, I like having my work email on my phone, especially if I'm not in the office. Just having that on me is nice. But I've turned off my notifications, so I don't get a push notification when I get a new email. It's only when I go to refresh. Right, yeah.
I mean, you have to do that.
Right, yeah. And it's made my life that much easier at night with my work, like having a work-life balance.
Yeah, I think first when this work-life balance thing started coming around the last decade or so, it was really about not working so much at night.
Yeah.
But I think where that's sort of taken a lot of people is to also not be thinking about work at night. So you can be present and engaged with your family. I know we've set rules around here to prevent some of those issues. We don't allow, we highly discourage people from emailing coworkers when they're on their vacation.
Yeah.
Right? We pretty much outlaw weekend work, unless it is sort of approved.
Right, or if you've got projects that you feel like it's necessary for you to play catch up on if you've had some stuff.
It's weird though, right? Because at some point in time, and usually early in your career, and this isn't necessarily you, people haven't earned the right to have work-life balance, and that's sort of a gross statement to say, because they need to dig deep into their career to put themselves in a position to have work-life balance. I think that's where this thing gets murky.
Right, because it was one of those, when I went on full-time, I was still graduating from college, I was a senior, and I had no work-life balance.
Yeah.
Because I was going to school full-time still. I was working 45, 50 hours a week, and I was on second shift. So I was from like 1 o'clock in the afternoon until whenever I was done.
No
for the
balance.
Day. No balance.
Yeah.
And I was a Tuesday through Saturday.
But that's what the situation called for, though?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, well, so now I'm even more appreciative of the work-life balance that we have, especially because of the kind of schedule that we work around within our office.
Yeah, there's like, so I have lots of thoughts about this. I'm glad we're talking about this today.
Me too.
I come from an old school family, which is a dumb thing because every family by definition is old school.
It's old school, yeah, right.
But I have a lot of the same mentalities. Like, hustle to me is super important. However, the definition of hustle has really changed.
Oh, absolutely.
I saw someone the other day on social media put something to the effect of like, hustle is when you're being asked to work for no pay. And I was like, I don't know about that.
No.
Look, I'm going to tell wives' tales here that these are actually true, but like early in my career, I'd work 60 to 80 hours a week every week for years.
So did my dad, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess no one asked me to do it, and it's not that the job required me to do it.
Yeah.
It's what I chose to do. And whether I had work-life balance, I don't quite know. Maybe on the weekends, but I still worked on Saturdays.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
where it gets
weird,
confusing.
right?
I don't know. For me now, because work-life balance is not about the amount of time I put into work, because that used to be. Now it's where I'm at mentally.
Yeah.
Like if I'm thinking about work, I'm a disaster, at home. And unfortunately, the only thing that prevents me from thinking about work is the one thing that also happens to annoy my family and all that follow me on Instagram. When I fish, I don't think about work.
Right? And I know we give you such a hard time for it, but you have
Yeah.
stuck with it for like a year now.
Almost a year.
Almost a
we're
year.
at 10 months. It's getting serious.
It's pretty a fish.
Yeah, I have a locket on my my rod that says like beef, and then I've got the other half that says ins. We're best friends, me and my rod. Peter and Rod, together forever.
That's cute.
If I exercise, like when you exercise,
Yeah.
what do you think about? My wife has a clear mind when she exercises. She's like thinks about nothing. It is
Yeah.
her zen. What do you think about?
That's exactly. I'm the
Nothing.
same way. No.
You don't work through shit. Can we
Well, it
say that?
depends. Yeah.
Okay. You don't work through things?
It
Bleep
depends.
that.
Like, one, it depends on what I'm listening to.
Yeah.
And it depends on what I'm doing. Like, if I'm going for a long run on the Monon Trail over by my house, then I'm just in my own world, total zen, not thinking about anything.
Okay.
But, like, last night, I did, like, a cute little hit workout on YouTube. And, yeah, I'm punching.
What made it cute?
I don't know. Just this little...
Like, I'll be honest. Like, if there's no workout I could do in which it would be described as cute. I've become more oafish. I think I'm sort of an older man. Oh man, yeah. What an awkward thing to. That's why I don't like group workouts. Right?
See?
Like I don't like CrossFit because I don't want someone cheering for me.
No, it makes me uncomfy. I can do a yoga class. Yoga classes, I kind of thrive in a yoga class.
Yeah.
But it's similar to a dance studio. Like,
Yeah.
it has, like, a very dance class feel
Sure.
to it. So it feels like I'm home.
I gotta be honest. If I went to a yoga class, I would probably be distracted.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. I am the least flexible person you've ever met. Like I'm very inflexible, not, like physically inflexible, not like the sort of like metaphorically, but metaphorically,
Yeah.
I'm pretty stubborn too.
There are reasons why
And
we
then
go
there's
on.
like I don't think I could concentrate well in yoga, and I'd be grunting. I think, and I think that do people grunt at yoga?
Not so much. There's a lot of deep breathing.
Oh, it's
but
uncomfortable.
yeah, it's kind of nice. I go in the mornings on Sunday.
Yeah.
And they open the windows, and when it rains, that's zen.
That would be nice.
It's nice.
I always want to say I want to try like man yoga, but it doesn't have to be man yoga. But I feel like I have to like.
My special friend comes
Yeah.
with me
Is
from time
he
to time.
flexible? This is a weird conversation.
Not-
This is the sort of stuff that RePete was meant for.
Decently
How
flexible.
flexible Zane?
Oh, there's his name.
That's all right, I can say it.
Z-Pop's pretty flexible.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll have to ask him and show me that.
Too bad we missed out on the barbecue.
Yeah.
That would have
I
been
know.
really special.
We did have a family barbecue here at the Pete the Planner World headquarters last weekend. We had a lot of people here.
We had a lot of people
A lot
here.
of children. May have dissuaded those without children to have children for quite some time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. It dissuaded me from having children. It
For
was a lot
long
of children
time,
here.
There were a lot of kids
Our
here.
studio was commandeered by several children under the age of 9.
We should have recorded that.
We should have, but I'm surprised any of our equipment currently works.
As am I.
It's a very droppy experience. I feel like my prized microphone here was probably dropped 10,000 times.
Did you say droppy?
Yeah, this I know was dropped because I had to fix it. And I'm not even sure I fixed it correctly.
Wait, what happened to it?
This knob came off because the kids spin things. They're just like, ugh.
Yep.
They think it's a fidget spinner. It's like, no, it's a mic.
It's a microphone.
Okay, back to work-life balance. I find for me, work-life balance is mentally being balanced, like being present,
Yeah.
right? Which is still hard because this stupid thing here,
Just
if you're watching on PeteThePlanner.tv, you know that I held up my iPhone. If you're listening on the podcast, then you're in the
still
dark.
no.
Now you know. This has definitely lessened my quality of life, and
Yeah.
I am not playing the victim. I'm the assailant.
However, you know what has increased my quality of life?
What?
This watch.
Your Apple Watch?
Yes.
I agree. Well, this has definitely improved my quality of life.
Because I feel like I am less on my phone because when my texts roll through, if it's if it's very pertinent, I can respond to it right then and there.
Yeah.
However, if not, I can just go back to it, and then I don't get stuck into that wormhole of like responding to a text and checking the email and getting on Instagram, and then 20 minutes later, I'm completely off track.
So I know we're doing the Facebook private group, and I will jump in there from time to time, the
Yeah.
repeaters. But other than that, I'm actually off Facebook.
Yeah, same.
Like I'll jump on our corporate page or whatever it is. What's it called? A public person
Yeah,
page or whatever. I
our
do
public
that.
page.
But I'm off Facebook. I check LinkedIn maybe once a week just to make sure a message didn't come through that I need. But I still have a major Twitter issue which affects my life balance because I'm on it way too much.
Yeah.
And I don't even tweet that much anymore.
I'm the one who tweets the most on that account now.
Yeah, I mean, I use it to gather news.
Same. And sometimes I decide when I've had enough news for that day and I just kind of forget about Twitter. At night, actually, we've been doing this thing where kind of like after 8 or 9 o'clock at night, we're just not on our phones.
Yeah, Mrs. Planner and I, for like a week, we had this like phone parking lot in our house where you just like at night you just put your phone and parked it, and it worked, so we stopped doing it.
That's how that works.
Yeah, it's a pretty humbling, embarrassing thing when your kids say, "Dad, get off your phone," and it's like, oh my God, they're gonna go to therapy, and they're gonna be well adjusted after the therapy. Your yellow shirt is showing up so bright.
I know.
Did you wear that on purpose?
No, I didn't.
I mean, it just happened to be on when you left the house?
Yeah, it's weird
It's
how
not
that works.
yellow
It's
in
not.
person.
But
it's
it
a
looks
softer yellow.
like mustardy yellow on camera.
Jeez, I look bald on camera. You know, here in relation to work-life balance, and the question this week that's going to be at the Repeaters page is, you know, what does work-life balance look like to you? Do you have rules that you have to, you know, that you use?
Right. If there's tips that you've found work for you, share them with us and that's what I think is so great about this Facebook group is we're going to be able to post questions like this and people are going to be able to enlighten us on things that...
And share with each other. I mean, because
Right.
we don't want to pretend like we have all the answers here.
No.
A lot of times people give us tips that help us. There's a couple elements here that I really want to discuss, though.
Yeah.
And it goes back to this, some people don't deserve to have work-life balance, which is a horrible statement, but I'm going to stick by it, and here's why. Sometimes we get ourselves in a horrible financial jam, just a horrific jam, that the only way out is a second job or a third job. And so either people try to maintain work-life balance throughout those financial issues without working more, without solving their problem, or they grind for 6 months to a year, have no work-life balance so that they can then have healthy work-life balance once again. And I'm a huge proponent of fixing the problems we have in short periods of time, not with get-rich-quick schemes, but with the grind.
Yeah. That's like if you really want it bad enough, you got to earn it.
Yeah. I think once you're an adult, an established adult who got themselves into trouble, that is true.
Right.
I have really changed my views of work and luck and all these sorts of things of like, you can be anything you want to be if you work hard enough. Like I used to really feel that way. I not that I'm jaded, I feel less that way because I feel like there's a lack of opportunity for certain people economically.
Yeah.
Which is like some people haven't earned the right and can never earn the right of work-life balance based on their wages.
Yeah.
You know, they can go home and be present with their family and be good parents, but it's hard to be a good parent when you can not pay the bills or barely pay the bills. And to some degree, that's to no fault of the parent themselves.
Absolutely.
Or the adult.
It's not
Kids
even
don't
a
have
case of you're overspending or you're not being smart with your money. It's just...
You know, we'll talk about that sort of stuff on the show. It's just not appropriate for my radio show.
Yeah.
But I mean, my thoughts on wealth and wages and not even politics, but really even social support have changed so much over the years, not based on my personal politics, but by what I've seen doing what we do.
Yeah.
You know, we're sending one of our colleagues to a workshop this week on how can you better understand what it's like to make below living wage. Like how do you serve a community where they're barely making enough money to survive? And yes, of course the solution is they can make more money, but it's not like you can snap your fingers and make more money.
No, it's one of those, there's got to be a more midterm solution to that. There's got to be something, there's tools, there's got to be something that, that helps facilitate that. Because no one wants to feel that hopelessness of, well, I just need more money and I don't have more money.
Right.
There's nothing more debilitating than that.
No, it's terrible. Back to work-life balance. See, there's literally no focus to this show. That's why it's here. It's unfiltered extension of the Pete the Planner show. I like the logo. Do you do that?
Thanks, I did.
Yeah, it's good. Like what are those drop shadows?
I layered 2 different.
Some layering.
Yeah, some
Check out the
layering.
logo at do we own RePete.com? Can we get that?
Yeah, we'll get that.
Check it. Let's check it now. That way, no one buys it from under us and then tries to hold us over our head. We're chucking. This is, you know what? You just wait for it. This is what this show is.
Aww.
Oh no, what is it?
It's the RePete is the independent automotion leader for process manufacturing worldwide.
Jeez, they sound more boring than us.
Yeah.
All right, so think about this in work-life balance in relation to the amount of time you're able to be home. I'm gone a lot, yet I feel like I'm home a lot. Like I don't miss a ton of soccer games and baseball games and stuff. And even as a kid, my dad did not travel a lot, but he worked a ton. He'd get in at 4 a.m. and get home at 6 p.m. And he was always there at my practices and that sort of stuff. But as I look at my father's work, and he always worked half days on Saturdays on top of that, he's working 14-hour days, 5 days a week. What's the math on that? So that's 60 hours. Then he'd probably work 6 hours on Saturday. So he'd work 66 hours a week every week for as long as I could remember. But sometimes he'd play golf on Sunday mornings, before church or something like that. But that doesn't seem like much work-life balance back in the 80s.
No.
The times have changed. And by the way, there was no technology really to make your work life more efficient.
Yeah, no.
I mean, he was writing letters and faxing them to people.
It's a lot.
So weird. Like
I know.
can't. How long it even takes to dial a fax number?
It doesn't say you're faxing them.
Yeah, it's weird. Was your dad? Do you feel like in retrospect, like the work-life balance was the right mix? I mean, this is not being judgmental of him. It's more being observational as to what happened.
As I got older, it was a lot better. But my dad helped build up. My dad's an engineer.
Yeah.
He's a mechanical engineer, and so he helped build up a lot of the plants. His company, they have a lot of branches worldwide, and so the Indianapolis and Indiana area branches, he helped build those up a lot. So when I was younger, he worked a lot more, and then as I got older, he started traveling almost as much as you do right now.
Yeah.
But same thing, he was at a lot of dance performances, took Adam, my little brother, to basketball, coached different sports for him. So he was around. So I think it was one of those, even as he started to travel more, it was the more he traveled, the more he pulled back and had more of a work-life balance.
It's weird. Then we talk about like our moms. My mom worked at like elementary schools and stuff that we would go to and had sort of various jobs like that. But that's almost a balance from a different angle altogether.
Yeah.
And like my wife is fortunate to be able to stay at home with the kids now, and that's a whole different issue too, because there's not a lot of balance.
No.
When it's like life balance.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, my mom.
None.
No, like especially when as my dad started to travel and Adam and I got more involved. My mom would pick me up from school, take me to dance, go get Adam, and then that was her day.
I think that was one of my biggest learnings as an adult over the last several years, that what a stay-at-home parent does when you see it versus what you think they would do prior to being part of it.
Right.
I mean, it couldn't be any more different.
No.
I mean, it's a nice thing. It is definitely a privilege to a couple to be able to do that. Privilege is a weird word.
It is, but
man, it's hard.
Yeah, I think the best insight to me, I was 16 and I nannied for the first time for a summer. And wow, that was the best perspective on just even a little insight of what my mom did every day for my brother and I growing up.
Yeah, I'm curious, the stay-at-home parents who consume this particular program, I'm curious to hear from those folks of what balance looks like for them, because
Right.
it's that real gray area. It's work. It's your job,
Right?
but it's not. And if I use the wrong word, it's offensive. But I'm not trying to be.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to explain the situation. So where is the balance? Is the balance when the other adult gets home, or I mean, what kind of work-life balance does even a single parent have?
Right. I think it's even less than, because when you're a stay-at-home parent, and that's the thing is, it's one of those. I gotta say, for stay-at-home parents, I don't think you guys get as much credit. I think they get more flack than they do praise for all that they do.
Yeah, it's weird because here the media doesn't help it. They try to do this thing where they say, "What's the value of us?" Every year, it's this new thing. What's the value of a stay-at-home parent? And they try to put a salary amount on. It's like you're not helping the very real issue by trivializing it with like a fake number as to what this person should earn. Like it's sort of a silly thing. But I guess that goes back to work-life balance. It's like parenting, although it is life, It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, especially when you're with your kids all day. You know,
Yeah.
you're the sole provider for them, especially when they're young. And so I wonder too if that whole work-life balance too is when kids go to camps or when kids are at school and parents can focus on maintaining the home.
Yeah, our kids were at camp last week, and so my wife got from basically 8 to 3 every day to just do whatever she wanted. She was working out twice a day. It's like she was just like having a great time.
What a monster.
I know. But see, like when the kids are in school, during school, she'll come in here. She works here from time to time, and she's got other interests that she does, and so it's a little different. But when the summer comes, as stay-at-home parents know, like that focus, it's like being on vacation with your kids. You don't realize until you go on vacation with your kids that you get no break from your kids. Mm-mm. At home, you get a break from your kids.
Yeah.
On vacation, it's 24/7 intense family time.
It's a lot of family time.
You know what I don't understand? Let's deviate. I don't understand extended family travel.
Oh, it's so much.
I could never do it. We have never done it. I could never do it.
One time.
You've done it once?
We decided that it would be a great idea for my mom's side of the family.
Yeah.
All of her and her 6 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
For us and families to go on a cruise together to the Bahamas.
I would jump off the boat.
We put ourselves on a boat together.
See, here's the thing with extended family vacations, and this is where my curmudgeonly ways come out. I love my family. I love my parents, my sister, my brother-in-law. They're all very smart, great people.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like in a moment of being forced to make a decision in which different people have opinions, I'm not interested in anyone else's opinion.
No.
And I'm just being honest.
No. Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, if it's like, hey, where do you want to go to dinner? Let's just go to Chili's. I'm not going to Chili's, but let me just, like, I just want to go to Chili's. And everyone's like, well, what about Don Pablo's? Like, let's not do this. It's going to take 90 minutes. And no, it's all terrible anyway.
That was the great part about the cruise, though, is because when we went to dinner, everyone just picked whatever they had.
See, that's nice.
There was no, hey, let's go here. It's like, okay, here's our table in the dining room.
We need to do a full episode on dining out with other people.
Yeah.
Because I have opinions.
You have thoughts.
I'm still to some degree in this stage of my life. If we go out to eat with another group of people, I'll just pick up the whole check. Not because I'm trying to big time anyone, because I hate the math dance. Because I know the math.
It's the worst.
And other people don't know the math. And I don't want to be the guy that's like, you owe 45.32, you owe 86, and like I don't know. So I'm just like, I'll take it. I got it. Which Sarah gets mad at. That she's like, well, quit picking it up. I'm like, I don't want to hear people be bad at math in my presence.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I have a lot of issues. We're going to go through them on this show. The RePete is really about working through my issues. Like, I've got major time issues.
Yeah, you do.
Major time issues.
In light of our, I don't know, would you say we have like a flex schedule?
Yeah, I think that's what we have.
You have gotten a lot better because, like, with that, you know?
We
kind of come and go as we please, and if your stuff's done, you've gotten really good with that.
Again, that's the old school. Like, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, I have no time for you. Like, that was sort of the old school way in which I'm raised. And my friends, even at social gatherings, I'm the first one at the party, and before the party starts, and then I'm the first to leave.
Yeah, you do get to meetings and sit in parking lots 20 minutes
I can't help it. I mean, I could help it. I mean, this caused a disagreement with Mrs. Planner and I this week. Like today is what, Tuesday the something?
Tuesday the 19th.
No one cares. Tuesday the 19th. I have a meeting tomorrow afternoon in Vegas. Mm-hmm. I'm leaving at noon today so that I don't have to, fly in on the same day of the meeting because at the risk of missing it or being late with travel connections.
Yeah.
But B, I'm leaving in an earlier flight today, so I don't have to worry getting into town late if there's travel delays. So I'm getting to Vegas a full 24 hours, and I hate Vegas, seriously, hate it.
Yeah.
A full 24 hours before the meeting, and Mrs. Planner appropriately said, "That's dumb, Peter." And I said other things. But the point is, it's a time issue for me.
Yeah, it's okay. You recognize it.
Why does that matter?
Well, if you were in denial about it, that would be worse.
I also have major traffic issues.
It's okay, I do too.
I lay awake at night thinking about traffic, and I have a third of a mile commute on foot to work.
On foot.
On foot, not during the heat, but on regular occasions, I can get to work in just under not much time.
I'm glad you brought it because it's hot in the Midwest right now.
Well, let's talk about what the weather is in Vegas, because this might be the last episode of Repeat, because...
Have you ever been to the desert before, Peter?
It's going to be 113 degrees when I'm there. A rare steak is 125 degrees. I will be at a temperature holding 12 degrees short of being a rare piece of meat. I'm going to be...
Thank you for the comparison.
I'm going to be braising Peter jerky. Slowly dehydrating. My freckles are going to come out a lot.
Get you some sparkling
Here's
water.
an uncomfortable moment. So when I started losing my hair years ago, it just starts, it goes back. Now the area that's the hair is gone, it gets redder faster than everything else.
You should fill it in with a little instant tanner or something.
I don't know, but then it'll be orange and then pink and then I look like a dreamsicle.
Oh.
The push pops,
Yeah.
the Crush push pops.
Those are really good. Yeah. Maybe.
Don't stare at it so much. It's really uncomfortable. So work-life balance. That's this week's episode. I want you to let us know, what are your rules for work-life balance? Here are mine. Fish. Number 2, I don't return emails on the weekends. I used to. Jasmine, who's our VP of marketing and operations here, she and I used to just, all weekend long, we would just work all weekend here. And no more. So I don't return emails on weekends. And then my final work-life balance rule is don't go to pie eating contests as a celebrity judge.
That's probably your best piece of advice. Well, don't go to a pie eating contest and, maybe cover it up as
I
a
may have
networking
misrepresented
event.
a event. I was invited to be a celebrity judge at a pie eating contest a few years ago. I may have misrepresented it to my wife and 2 children as I had a networking event. I may have gone to said pie eating contest, consumed a great deal of pie, had images posted on social media of me consuming and judging that pie, have my wife visually consume those images, and then upon getting home, she's standing in the garage and asked me how the pie was.
Your wife, Mad, is horrifying.
Yeah, because she's very small and she's like, oh, it's like a bunny.
You have no idea what she's capable of.
She's cute but deadly.
Yes,
just
cute
like
but
Ted.
deadly. Yeah, Ted.
I don't know. So anyway, don't do that. That's my work-life balance. My final rule is don't say you're going to a networking event and it's actually you're a celebrity judge at a pie eating contest.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
What are your final rules before we pass along? Not pass along, we know we're going to die, but we're going to quit doing the show.
I don't fish so much, but I do enjoy the yoga. Find something that helps you clear your head. Clear your head, help you work through things. Something
I'm kind of getting one of your yoga classes coming down.
Yeah, Sunday mornings.
Don't look at me.
I won't. You can. They're in the back.
Did you see that when I sprinted and raced my wife? Did you see the video?
No, I missed the video. I heard about it.
I raced my wife a foot race, and I won by a step. Seriously, a foot race. But the video, I'm grunting as I cross the finish line, and the most, you know what? We're going to play it. We are going to play it because that's what we do on this show.
Well, you pull that up. We will have how to get to the group for repeaters on the blog, on the Twitter, on our Facebook group. It'll probably get listed in the newsletter somewhere. If you don't subscribe to our newsletter, subscribe to that. You'll get first glances at Pete's Eats.
Aaliyah, can we go to this camera here? I want to see if I can get it. Okay, and then we'll get the audio. Are you ready? Ooh. All right, so we're sprinting across the soccer field. Here comes the guttural noise. That's Ted laughing.
Her shrill.
Do you hear that? That is a 40-year-old man racing his wife.
That's what that sounds like.
I won by a step. It's like a 70-yard sprint. She's a world-class athlete, and I got her. I beat her by a step. But the next week, I severely pulled my hamstring like I was hit by a sniper.
The universe is a funny thing.
That's it for this week's show. What's next week's topic? Oh!
Who's your financial role model?
Who's your financial role model? So we'll post that on the repeaters page.
Yeah, there'll be a cute little picture with the question.
Why is everything cute?
Just let me live.
I know, but it's like I'm not
a little cutie.
It's a little cutie.
But yeah, there will be a cute little photo with the question. Just comment below.
My 6-year-old son calls girls that he thinks are pretty cutifuls.
Cutifuls. Oh my gosh. On Friday night at the barbecue, he had some of the cheddar caramel popcorn.
Yeah.
He looks at your wife. He goes, "Can I have more of that delectable greatness?"
Yeah, he's a character.
He is.
All right, that's all we have time for. Are we gonna have like a special sign off for Repeat? Oh, I got it. We'll do a special sign off for Repeat. Here it is. Pete and Nicole are on a show called Repeat. Pete and Nicole go away. What's left?
Nicole.
Pete and Nicole go away. Repeat.
We'll work on it.
No, Repeat.
Repeat.
Pete and Nicole are on a show called Repeat. Pete and Nicole go away. What's left?
Repeat.
See you next week.
We'll work on it.